Good morning children, how are you all of you? Okay, well, in previous class we discussed about water. The source of natural water divided into two groups. What are those? That is surface water and groundwater. And where do we get this surface water? We can get surface water from seas, river and oceans, and also we can get rainwater. So, these are surface water. And moving on to that groundwater, where could we get this groundwater? We can get from well water and spring water. These are the sources of main water. What are those? Surface water and groundwater. And in this class we will discuss about water cycle. Where does the water cycle gets its energy? Do you know where does this water cycle gets its energy? Yes, the water cycle gets its energy to this sun. So, where does the water cycle gets its energy? The water cycle gets its energy from the sun. From the sun. So, sun only the main sources of water cycle. How? Let us discuss how it is. So, why do we need this water cycle? Why do we need this water cycle? Since 97% of water is covered in this earth surface, only salt water. Can we able to use this salt water? No. It is unfit for drinking, it is unfit for household things. We are not able to use this water like whatever we are using fresh water, no, like that we are unable to use this sea water. So, how much percentage it occupies on the earth? The earth is covered by 97% of water is salt water. We are not able to use this water. So, we cannot drink this water too, right? And also, how does the water get into oceans? How does the water get into that oceans? You know, clouds. The main sources of rain is clouds. How does this clouds forms? That we will discuss later. First of all, let us moving on to that clouds. You know, when the clouds moving one place to another place, how the clouds are moving one place to another place? By the help of wind. So, when the clouds are moving, so when the clouds are moving, so the clouds cannot hold their water. When the clouds are they cannot able to hold that water, it comes like a rain. How it reaches the earth? It reaches like a rain. So, the water is comes as precipitation. The water is comes as like a precipitation and lands, and also it moves into that oceans. So, that we can say that water gets into that oceans. How the water get into that oceans? When the clouds cannot hold any more water, it comes into that precipitation, and land into that oceans. That we can say that. You know, what is a water cycle? First of all, let us know what is a water cycle. You know, water cycle. So, the circulation of water, whatever we have, the water is there, no, on the surface. So, the circulation of water from the earth surface, to that atmosphere. Where is that? To that atmosphere, and back to that earth. It is called water cycle. What we can call? The circulation of water from the earth surface to the atmosphere and back to that earth. That is called water cycle. What we are calling water cycle. And also you can easily say that what you can able to say that whatever the water cycle has, this water cycle has limited water amount, and it gets round and round, that is you are calling water cycle. Okay. So, what we are calling, what is the mean by water cycle? Whatever the water circulation of the circulation of water from the earth surface to that atmosphere and back to that earth is called water cycle. You know how, what is that water cycle made up of? The water cycle is made up of mainly 4 stages. What are, how many? 4 stages. They are evaporation, condensation, precipitation and collection. What are those? Evaporation, condensation, precipitation and collection. So, these are the main sources of water cycle. What are those? Evaporation, condensation, precipitation and collection. How it plays a role in that water cycle, let us know. First of all, we will move on to that evaporation. See, earth has covered with water. So, the earth surface covered with water. When the earth becomes heat, whatever the water is occupied in that surface, no, the surface water become heating, and it will, the whatever the earth become heats, automatically the water also become heat. So, when the water become heat, what will happen? The water evaporating. What it happens? The water is evaporating. So, when the sun, by the help of sun, when the earth is becoming heat, when the sun is located in that place only, the earth can heat. So, that, so with the help of sun, with the help of sun. So, when the sun heats up the water and turns into that vapor, or we can say that streams. So, it rises up into that air. So, that we are calling evaporation. What we are calling? See, when the sun heats up the water, what will happen? The water changing into water vapor, or it will become as a streaming. So, and where it is rises up, it rises up and mixing into that air. No? So, these we are calling evaporation, or we can say that the process of conversion of water changes into water vapor is called evaporation. And also what we can call the process of conversion of water changes into water vapor, that also we can call that evaporation. When the water rises up and mix into that air, what will happen? Again it become, the vapor will become cool. So, when the water vapor will gets cool, what will happen? It changes back into that liquid, or not. So, that we are calling condensation, by the help of condensation. How the condensation will help? See, the water vapor, whatever the water changes and mixing into that air, no, after that what it happens? It gets cool, and also it changes back into that liquid. For example, take some water in any utensils and add 2 to 3 glasses of water and you boil above 100 degrees centigrade. What will happen? The water is boiling. When the water is boiling, you put your hand, you just put your hand while the water is boiling, no, in there you should remove that lid and you put your hand. You keep it some 1 or 2 minutes, after that you should remove. Then you can see that your palm covered with some watery substance, some water, wet you will get wet or not? Means whatever the water is evaporating and it mixing into that air, after that what it will change? It will change into again liquid. So, like that. So, here the water vapor in the air gets cold, it will get cold and changes into liquid. What it will change? It will changes into liquid. So, that form what we are calling? Condensation. What we are calling? Condensation. Or else we can say that the process of water vapor changing into water, the process of conversion of water vapor changing into water. That process we are calling condensation. See, evaporation means what? The process of conversion of water. Conversion of water changes into water vapor. Here the water is changing into water vapor. That process what we are calling evaporation. Moving on to that condensation. Condensation means what? The process of conversion of water vapor. Conversion of water vapor and the water vapor changing into water. What is that? The water vapor changing into water, that we are calling condensation. Quite opposite. Evaporation means the water changing into water vapor. Condensation means what? Whatever the water vapor is there, no, the water vapor changes into water. So that we are calling condensation. Here moving on to the condensation. So when the water vapor in so this water vapor in the air gets cold and change back to that liquid form, change back to that liquid form. So that we are calling condensation. What we are calling? Condensation. Have you understood? Yes. Next, the third stage of water cycle is precipitation. What is that? Precipitation. Precipitation means what? When suppose we just now we discussed that first water will change into water vapor, after that the water vapor change into the liquid. Now where it located? So these all are in happening in atmosphere. So when the clouds, so when there is so much water in that atmosphere, so that form as a cloud. So whatever we have, the dust particles, water vapor, that all form as a cloud. So here when, so whatever, when, see, when there is so much water, there is so much water in the clouds, so much water in the clouds. When the clouds are fulfilled with water, what will happen? They can't control. So they could not keep itself. So what they are doing? That water fell like a rains, snow, hail, sleet, like that. So the precipitation means what? When there is so much water in that cloud, that is could not hold it anymore, and it comes out as a rain. It comes out as a rain, and also sleet, snow and hail. So these all form we are calling precipitation. What we are calling? Precipitation. See, first of all, with the help of sun, earth will heat. When the earth will heat, what will happen? The earth surface is covered by water. Water is or not? Yes. So slowly the water also become heat. When the water is become heat, what will happen? It changes into vapor. So whatever the water changing vapor, no, so where it be? It will be in a air. So the water vapor in that air. So when the air is getting cool, what will happen? Again it will form as a liquid. Again it form as a liquid. For example, I will give you one example. Everyone have your home freezers. In that freezer, deep freezer, you have ice cubes. Take one ice cubes. Take 1 or 2 ice cubes you have to take, and take one utensils and you keep in that 2 ice cubes. After some times, a couple of minutes, what can you see? You can see that the ice cube melting like a water. Melting like a water or not? And take this water and put it into that gas stove and make it as a flame. So above 100 degrees centigrade, what will happen? The water slowly boiling. The water is slowly boiling or not? Before, have you observed that first the vessel will heat. Directly water won't get heat. Which one will get first heat? Vessel only, no? So here also, so here flame act as a sun. Flame act as a sun. So when the sun heats up to this surface of water, first water won't get heat. first the earth become heat. Which one? The earth become heat. With the help of the sun, the earth become heat. After that, slowly the water getting heat. After getting heat of this water, what will happen? It changes into vapor. It changes into vapor. And when the water is changing like a water vapor, where it goes? It goes and combined in air. Air or not? So, when this water vapor combine in the air, what will happen? Again the air get cools. So, when the air get cools, this water vapor getting like a water, liquid form, no? So, it combine in that clouds. So, how the clouds are forming? By the help of this evaporation and condensation, whatever we have dust particles, water droplets, water vapor and all, it mix and form as a cloud. Form as a cloud or not? So, by the help of evaporation, earth become heat. When the earth become heat, evaporation will form. When the evaporation will form, water vapor will change into that condensation process. Condensation means what? Whatever the process, conversion of water vapor into water. So, that we are calling condensation. So, here when the air is getting cool, what will happen? The water vapor change into water. So, it fill into that clouds. So, main source of rain is a cloud. So, these clouds, they cannot hold it. When they have more water droplets, when they have more content of water in that clouds, they cannot hold it. So, when they cannot hold it, that water, what will happen? It will form as a rain, snow, sleet and also hail. So, this all can get from these precipitations by the help of precipitation. So, these three are the main role in that. Then the last stage of water cycle. What is the last stage of water cycle? That is collection. What is the collection? When the water comes back, see here, first water only changing into that water vapor, again the water vapor changing into the liquid like water, again the water getting into this precipitation, then it falls down. Or not? So, here when the water comes back down on the earth, so finally water moving as a evaporation, condensation, precipitation, again it, where it is coming back down, they are coming back down on the earth. Which process? By the help of precipitation. By the help of precipitation process, and it goes back to that lakes, rivers, seas and oceans. So, like that we are getting that water. What is the main source of water? The main source of water is clouds. And what is the main source of what is the main source of water? The main source of water is rain. Now, so how does we get rain? With the help of clouds. Without clouds, could we get rain? Good. No, we cannot get rain without clouds. So, here the clouds are playing a vital role in this water cycle process. So, when the evaporation start, it changes into condensation, the condensation changes into precipitation and the precipitation changes into collection. Collection means what? Whatever we have water on the earth surface, So, here when the water comes back down on the earth as a precipitation and goes into that rivers, seas, lakes and also oceans. So, this we are calling collection. So, only this happens, and also do you know the plants also helping, the plants also playing a vital role to get rains. How? See, whatever the plants have, they know the plants have leaves. What do the plants has? The plants have leaves. With the help of leaves, they changes water vapor, some water vapor, whatever they contain some water, no, they are excreting that water vapor into that air. So, whatever they excreting water vapor into that air, so this whole process we are calling transpiration. What we are calling transpiration. So, the water vapor is also evaporated. So, the water vapor is also formed by the evaporation of water, that what we are calling that evaporation of water, and it changes into that leaves, where they will get this evaporation from the leaves. So, this whole process we are calling transpiration. What we are calling? Transpiration. So, the water vapor is also formed by evaporation of water, from leaves. From leaves we are getting, no, this whole process we are calling transpiration. What we are calling? Transpiration. Have you understood that? Okay. So, what is a water cycle? Water cycle means what? The circulation of water. See here, water only circulation. So, the circulation of water from the earth surface, to the atmosphere, and back to that earth, that is called water cycle. So, what are the water cycle made up of? Water cycle has 4 main stages. What are those? Those are evaporation, condensation, precipitation and collection. What is mean by evaporation? Evaporation means what? The process of conversion of water changes into water vapor is called evaporation. And what is the mean of condensation? Condensation means the process of conversion of water vapor. The process of conversion of water vapor changes into water. That what we are calling condensation. So, quite opposite. Evaporation means water changing into water vapor. Condensation means water vapor changing into water. So, that we are calling condensation. So, by the help of this evaporation, condensation, precipitation and collection. So, with the help of these 4 stages, we can get water. So, it acting like a chain, like a circle. See, one by one depending. So, water getting heat, water vapor forming, after that water vapor changing into water, and water becomes as a precipitation, and it comes down and reaches to the earth with the help of rain, sleet, snow and hails, like that. So, again it form as a groundwater. So, this all water reaches into rivers, seas, oceans and wells, groundwater, like that. Again what it happens? Again it started like a vapor, liquid and rain, and it will collect as a water. So, the whole process is moving like a circle. So, that we are calling water cycle. So, what is the main role here playing? Only water. Which one? Water. So, water only playing main role, no, and it acting as a circle. So, that we can say that water cycle. So, this water is making as a cycle. So, with the help of these 4 stages, the water cycle run into like this. So, this is called water cycle. So, what are the main sources of water? The main sources of water is rain. Rain or not? How does this rain comes? The rains are coming with the help of clouds. With the help of clouds or not? So, if we have in our surroundings more trees, how it look like? It look like very greenery and cold, and also the weather is very cool, like that, no? So, why it happens? Because when we have in our surroundings trees, we can get more humidity in our atmosphere. When we have more humidity in our atmosphere, we can get more quantity of water in our surroundings. So, here the main role is played by trees also. If we have more trees, we can get sufficient rain in time also. So, nowadays we are not getting sufficient rain in times. Why? What is the reason? Because we are cutting the trees. We are cutting the trees or not? We are cutting the trees and we are making buildings, and also we are making apartments. So, we are living luxury life. By living luxury life, we are cutting the trees and using the trees as our home style, like sofas, cupboards, or many things using by cutting these trees. So, when we are cutting the trees, what will happen? We can get less humidity in that atmosphere, and so that we will get not sufficient rains. We won't get sufficient rain. When we have good atmosphere of humidity, we will get in time rain. So, this is called water cycle. What are the main what are the uses of water? Yes, we are using water to drinking purpose, home need purpose like cooking, washing, cleaning, and without water we cannot live in this world, right? And also nowadays we are wasting that water too. So, we have to stop to waste that water. Every drop is precious to us. So, we have to save water for our next future generation. Okay. So, thank you. We will discuss a new topic in a next class. Till then, you learn about this water cycle and evaporation, condensation and precipitation, collection. This all you should learn. We will discuss in next class. Okay. Thank you.